Hey everyone, welcome to the fifth game of my Season 7 Backyard Baseball campaign. Coming off my first win of the season. Not a terribly impressive performance from me still, but trending in the right direction, I guess, and hoping to keep that kind of meta momentum going as I go into this fifth game, and wanted to start it all from the very beginning, and we can see the good and bad days of the players and everything together. We are playing at home against the Mariners, who are a kind of speedy and defense-oriented team, so it's going to be scary. I think they'll be able to shut me personally down from scoring a fair amount, but this boost from Whitney might be helpful. Up to 10 speed on left field. Fortunately, that is counteracted by Shawn Green looking like a bad version of Frank Thomas, basically, is what this kind of stat line looks like roughly to me, just like, worse at everything still. Usual Billie Jean, bad day, Rafael normal, Cheryl normal, Davey normal, Lena normal, and Marquiona's normal boost. So I had a planned batting order for this game, and I will probably be throwing that out the window now with those changes, but I'll think about that as we go and look at this Mariner squad. With Ricky in left field, Jody Palmer in center, Kathy Wolf, and a little bit of a bad day in right field. At least don't have to worry quite as much about her normally elite speed. Emily Lubel, the Todd Hilton clone at first base. Linda Potter, who's based on Lisa Crockett, I believe, at second base. Tina Herrera on a boosted batting day at shortstop. Bagwell at third base. Brad Radke on the mound, and Vic Souffle on a bad day affecting his fielding. That's interesting. Normally known for a very strong arm behind the plate, but maybe that fielding or part of that fielding bad day is his arm, but will be hard to say for sure until we get into the game, of course. So a little bit of bad luck for the Mariners, and kind of a trade-off for my Orioles, but this bad day for Shawn is pretty painful. It means we have two kind of dead spots in the lineup with him and Billie Jean. That's been struggling for me. Well, other people on the team have been struggling too, so not that new, but just an unfortunate situation. Maybe my lineup won't actually change that much. Just looking at something like that for my top 5. And I was going to have Shawn here, but I think instead we're going to do something like Cindy there, Raphael there, and then these two bozos just batting at the bottom. Maybe one of them will be able to get on base, and then set that up for a line drive with Davey. Or this could be where I go back to Cheryl leading off. No, I think I'm gonna like Davey leading off. He's been by far my most consistent at getting on base all season. Makes sense. He's basically roughly a clone of Keisha Phillips, so just a strong player overall. And yeah, so that's about what we're gonna do on offense. I think I'm okay just keeping Shawn out in right field in this case. I've been sometimes bringing him in to play second base. I'm just kind of hide Raphael in right field, but I think in this case I'm not very worried about them hitting the ball out to right field in general. So we've got pretty stacked these two. I could bring don't love having Raphael at second base, obviously, but I'd be scared to put him out in left field just in case they do put a okay swing on the ball a couple times, and he wouldn't really be able to chase it down out there. So just have to try to keep the Mariners AI from hitting it to him too much. Other than that, I think this is the order I want to go with. The Billie Jean Sean side of the toss-up. I will probably be intentionally striking out if one of them does get on base, and hoping Raphael can clean things up if like Lena and Cindy get on or something like that. Maybe I should... no. I don't know. We're gonna try this. I don't love it, but the bad day for Sean has kind of put me in a weird spot, and just kind of hoping for the best. I mean, I obviously love this boost for Whitney, but 10 speed is always nice, but just will lose one of my better power hitters in Sean anyways. And we're gonna get started at the paveway. Okay, I was half convinced I had been playing at Cement Gardens all season, but they are in fact different, barely, fields. Mariners have Ricky Johnson leading off, and I will be, trying to get him out. Go figure. Markey is coming off his perfect game last time out. One of possibly the only perfect game I've ever thrown that I can remember at least. So good job, Markey. And just throwing slow balls to Ricky, who's a 1 batting, and we've recently figured out, if you're not familiar with the league, recently figured out some true ratings for players, and yes, his 1 in batting is pretty well deserved, but he does have some other redeeming qualities. Tina puts an okay swing on the ball, and I was looking over at my recording screen instead of at my the screen I'm actually playing on. I'm going to turn that screen off for now, so I don't get so distracted, because I've had that problem a few times this season. Emily with a pop-up that I think I'm right under with Whitney. Yes, phew. Alright, so get out of that first inning with 3 quick outs. Tina on a ground ball to Markey, and that big pop-up by Whitney, or to Whitney in left field, sorry. And then Ricky struck out to lead off the inning. Davey puts a good swing on the ball. Did go right at Tina, but she flubbed it at shortstop. She's normally a pretty reliable fielder, but so I feel a little lucky on that one. I will take that. And we're going to see how this bad day of Vic Souffle behind the plate is impacting him. Oh, he's not even going to try to throw to second. It looked like he would have made it, but he instead threw it over to Bagwell, who I had forgotten was at third, and I don't want to hit it like anywhere. Whitney pops it up. Looks like Tina's going to get over there to field it. She does make the catch that time, and she has a cannon too. Definitely a lot of good arms on this Mariners team. I think at least part of the secret is going to be trying to hit the ball into the outfield, but easier said than done. Especially if I'm getting pitches like that from Brad Radke. So hook low and roughly down the middle for strike 1. Markey put a good swing on that one, but I think Ricky's going to get over to it, and I'm not going to be able to make it to second. So 2 back-to-back outs on those line drive swings. Got to get them aimed better, I guess. With 2 outs, I'm going to try a power swing with Cheryl. She does make solid contact, but it goes straight into left or center field. She does make it around for a double, but just because of the way the AI was throwing the ball around, I did not send Davy towards home. I was not even tempted against all these strong arms. Swung a little early, and wasn't a great pitch to hit anyway, so strike one on Lena. Kind of abandoned my attempted patient approach at the plate. Oh, that one's going to get down. A great hit from Lena. That is perfect. Ricky overran the ball. Now it's kind of drifting around on left field. Who is in center? Oh, she has a good arm. Go, Lena. Another home run for Lena. Oh my gosh. Yes, what a great start. You know, despite those two terrible outs, Lena with their 5th home run of the season. Almost all of them have been at home or, well, okay, to be fair, this is my 4th game out of 5, either at home or at basically a replica of home. But still, it's her 5th home run, and they've all been from just totally janky plays like that one. Lena has, I think that's almost all of her hits too. It's just these stupid home runs, but you know, we take what we can get, and 3 runs in the 1st inning feels pretty good. I might have been able to take that for a ball. It was close for Cindy. It is tough, definitely hitting with her, and her very true one in batting. One of the worst actual hitters in the entire game, but I mean, makes up for it with her speed and relatively good defense. Not like she actually has that great of an arm or anything. So, somewhat regret getting her to man shortstop for my AI defense, but not a whole lot I can do about that at this point, so other than get through the season. Make the play. No. Well, I moved Cheryl to shortstop, who's the Sammy Sosa clone, and she has a great arm, but Billie Jean got a little scared of the ball that time. Interesting that Kathy Wolf is not showing up as having a bad day, even though her stat screen pretty clearly shows that. I don't know if that would be something we would be able to see with what we've learned from kind of looking into the code of the game and how they save, you know, like the player ratings and everything, but one of those oddities that can happen sometimes. Vic is showing up as having a bad day. Still looked like he had a pretty strong arm behind the plate, though. So don't expect too many steals, but it was nice to get away with that one. You know, didn't end up mattering, so definitely wouldn't have felt good if I had run Davy into an out at second, but it all worked out so far, at least. Markey is doing his usual, painting the corners, has Vic on a 1-2 count, and picks up another strikeout. Yeah, that was his 3rd. He struck out Kathy before that, and now we've got Brad Radke at the plate. He's batting .083 for the AI, which is obviously not a particularly strong batting average. And Boosted Markey does a pretty good job of fielding his position, I found, and does make that play as well. So we did give up a hit, almost more like an error really, but counted as a hit at least. And come up with nobody on for Raphael, who hits a hard ground ball on a power swing that sneaks all the way out into right field. So he does get a single. Fortunately, we now have 2 terrible hitters behind him. So I don't entirely know what I want to do here. think it's going to be take a couple pitches and maybe swing at the ball, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to draw a walk anytime soon. There are probably situations where this could end up working out. No, that was actually a ball. That was a tough one to read. I was also promising myself to get better at reading pitches, but that didn't happen. Not particular at bat, at least. That one appears to be high, and it is. So we got one ball on Sean Green. There's might just be swinging power with too. No, I'm gonna go line drive. And we're gonna try to take a walk and then try to get a good swing on the ball with Davey, but that is ultimately pretty much wishful thinking, I think. Sean does put a pretty good swing on the ball, but it goes right to Tina at shortstop, and she makes the catch. That's alright. For Davey, we're going to try to just kind of pull a line drive swing. About like that, though. That one is going to be fielded in time for Ricky to make the throw in to second base and get the slow Raphael, who got stuck on base, out at second. Yeah, I probably should have. Just trying to think of how I could have rearranged that situation. Don't think I really wanted to make that swap. I mean, I'd rather have Raphael ahead of another power hitter. So I think my original plan was him like kind of after Billie Jean if Sean was still, you know, a viable hitter. But in this case, I was just trying to set it up to where he could potentially drive in like Cindy if she got on base. But maybe that was all just wishful thinking. Back on the mound is Marky. Sorry, not Ricky. And at the plate is Jody Palmer, who only has a 2 in batting, but has kind of been found to be a better hitter than that would indicate, at least for a human controlling her. It doesn't always work out as well for the AI as they strike out there, and that's why you'll often see a lot of strikeouts from someone like Sally Dobbs that we've recently found literally as a 1 out of basically 100 for contact. So she just excels at fouling the ball off, basically. But when she does make contact, it's always good because of her high power, and that's pretty much entirely why she has a 7 in batting. Not much to report on defense for the Orioles in that inning, and we will come back to the plate now in the bottom of the 3rd with Whitney, Markey, and Cheryl due up. Whitney is going to try to just put the ball on the ground and use her 10 speed to get on base would be ideal. Looks like that will be the case. Hit it right between Bagwell and Tina over at 3rd and short. Neither of them seemed all that interested in going for the ball. I'm at least going to attempt a steal here. I want to take a pitch with Markey anyways. Not even going to try the throw despite his arm definitely looking like he could have made that throw. Markey puts a decent swing on the ball, but it ends up just being a grounder. Linda Potter fields at second pretty easily. We'll bring up Cheryl Reynolds with Whitney still on second base. And I was taking that one, hoping it was going to miss the strike zone high, but that was not the case. That one looks like it will be the case. Whew, just barely, though. That would have felt bad to have called a strike, but I got lucky, I think. Yeah. Brad is working the zone. They're all high pitches, which is usually good to swing at, but struggling to tell if they are balls or strikes. That one is thankfully pretty obvious. That one looked like it was going to be a strike, so I had to put a swing on it. It's actually ripped, but just foul. Without being able to use offensive power-ups, obviously, swinging at power-up pitches is pretty futile. Man, alright, that was unfortunate. Cheryl ripped it right at Brad Radke, who did not field it cleanly, but the ball bounced off him and back to Vic, who made the correct play to throw to first. We'll bring up our first inning hero, Lena, to try to put some magic together again. Fouls off first pitch and takes the second pitch way outside for a 1-1 count. Hits that one high and towards second. Instead of actually bumping off each other several times, looks like the Tina and Linda look-alike duo of at second and short. One of them knocked the other over completely, but that got him out of the way. Whoever was still standing made a pretty easy catch for the third out, unfortunately. So only 3 runs from that one swing from Lena to show for our first 3 innings here. Don't expect that that would get it done against a pretty tough Mariners team with a lot of speed. I do think, well, no. They have proven that just putting the bat on the ball works out pretty well. It's beating out the ball to first. Raphael actually tried harder to actually get to that ball than I would have expected. It was terrible fielding and vision and everything that should go into that kind of maneuver, but he made a solid effort for it. This wasn't quite fast enough, and Bagwell reaches base. I believe he's been their only base runner, but for the second time. So we've got Bagwell on first and Kathy Wolf at the plate. She puts a pretty good swing on it, but right at Cheryl covering shortstop, and Cheryl made the catch. So trying to continue to put something together here in this bottom of the 4th. Hopefully this really needs a Cindy and Raphael duo to come through. That ball stays fair. It was perfectly placed by Cindy, and she gets on first with a single. Exactly how we would have wanted to start that off. That brings up Raphael. Swinging power, and he will be trying to steal with Cindy, but prepared to turn back if he throws to second, but he chooses not to. So we're getting more steals on Vic than I would have expected, especially because his arm seems solid, but that first pitch was a strike, but the second one was low. Raphael unfortunately just pops that one up, and no collision between the pitcher and catcher, but Vic just flubbed it anyways. And now we're stuck with this cruddy situation of Billie Jean up at the plate. So yeah, I still think I'm struggling to put together the right lineup for this team. Through a lot of different iterations. Please just get called in infield fly. Alright, thank you. Figured I'd at least put a swing on the ball with Billie Jean, but wasn't meant to be on that one. With Sean, I'm going to try to either push it or pull the ball really well, or hit it right up the middle, which is going to be a double play for sure. I did not wait long enough, I guess, on that close swing. I was really trying to wait as long as I could, not pull the ball, but I pulled it right up the middle instead. So, I'm still really struggling with this team, or maybe just the game in general. Could certainly be it. Markey misses the strike zone just barely on 2 straight pitches. Two quick balls on Vic Souffle, who struck out his first time up and isn't particularly fearsome at the plate for the AI. So we're just gonna make sure they're in the strike zone and stop with that foolishness.
Don't blink now, or you'll miss.
That should be no problem for Markey, and indeed it was not. So grounder to Markey for the first out of the top of the 5th. Only going to have one more opportunity at the plate. We will have Davey leading off, which is nice, but we also have to hope to not trigger whatever would make the Mariners want to use the power-up swing that they should have at least earned from turning that double play last inning, because that would likely result in them scoring some runs and make our result look even worse. I don't know if I was supposed to be able to knock Radke out of the game, or what the secret to putting up some more runs would have been, but it was clearly not what I was actually doing. Markey is pitching a pretty good game again, though, so far. Like I kind of said, wasn't never terribly worried about this AI offense for the Mariners. Yeah, they do just have the 2 hits from Bagwell today. Davey with a blast into left field. Would have been nice to have that happen. Well, that's what could have happened before that dang double play last inning. But it's also only called a double, despite probably being a home run at any other field in the league. Oh, wow. Whiffed on that one with Whitney. Trying to hit it towards this left side on a grounder, but on that pitch, thankfully Radke evens the count back up with a very low pitch. Looks high to me, and it was, so a 2-1 count. Definitely aided by Whitney's strong eye, or vision, I guess is the rating, or the term we're going with, I believe. Foul off pitch down the middle for strike 2. That was a grounder swing, supposedly. Man, Kathy gunned that one into second base. No chance to go anywhere with Whitney, unfortunately. But we do get a single on, like I said, it was supposed to be a ground ball. Whitney is able to move on up to second, as I pretty much expected. They made the throw over to third. Markey with a high pop-up into shallow center. We are able to advance both the runners on effectively a sacrifice fly. I don't know if I should be, I don't know if I should just be swinging grounder with everyone, or I've had problems with that too, so just trying to get my groove going. Like I said, do score a run on basically a sac fly from Markey. And Cheryl up at the plate, trying to swing line drive, and have a 1 ball, 1 strike so far. Good swing from Cheryl. Might have been right at Bagwell anyways. It was also foul anyways. So 1 and 2 now. Let's get a pitch way outside for ball 2. Switching to a grounder swing and gonna hope that they just choose not to make a throw over to first, basically. We also might just end up taking a walk at this rate. Full count. She fouls that one off to remain that way. Brad Key's up at 55 pitches, but also hasn't had to work all that hard, so not too surprising for him to still be in the game. While trying to fire it over to first. We do get Cheryl on with that technique. And that brings up Lena once again. We're going to take the first pitch to let Cheryl go over to second, at least theoretically. Strike 2 on Lena. Does get a ball on that one. I was thinking about grounder swing with her, but I have Cindy up next, and I'm just worried about having bases loaded with her up. Instead, just barely get that one in. We are going to have 2 runners on, but Lena coming through once again. They brought Vic Souffle into pitch. That is interesting. I think that's super weird, but that means we're going to at least try to effectively bunt with Cindy. Obviously not actually using bunt, but grounder swing. We're also going to try to take a walk if Vic will give us that. He has thrown 3 straight balls to Cindy. So that has been one of her more reliable ways of getting on base this season. We're also going to take this first strike and try to extend the at-bat that way. He does get that crazy ball. I think that's what it is. I struggle to remember what the power-up pitch names are. Started off with 3 balls, but threw 3 straight strikes to Cindy, unfortunately. It does bring up Raphael with 2 outs and 2 on. Takes ball one from Vic. I don't think stealing really helps me any. Don't really want this very inside pitch, but I could be wrong about what Raphael actually likes to swing at. I'll take that one for what sure looked like a ball. 2-1. Get a slow-mo that looks like it's going to be a ball. Oh my gosh, caught the very edge of the high outside corner for strike 2. Pitch low and away, now full count on Raphael. Looks like he's going to take a walk. Not that that does a whole lot for me unless I can take one with Billie Jean too, or she can somehow put a good enough swing on the ball to mess up their defense, but not who I would like to have at the plate with bases loaded, obviously. Unless you can somehow actually send this ball all the way to Perry. Doesn't look like Vic's going to mess around anymore. Throws a heat for a strike 1. Had that one catch the low and outside corner for strike 2. Give me at least one ball. So 1 and 2 on Billie Jean. 2 and 2 now. I think I just gotta try to make contact if I can. Dang it. Oh, Raphael. Yeah, him taking a walk wasn't exactly ideal. 5 runs. I've just been stuck around this area for quite a while now. That was enough to get 1 bonus run from being the home team, and guess we would have been in a decent spot to restart the lineup and maybe score some runs if I had another inning, but wasn't to be in this one. Once again, I'm just going to try to get out of this inning without giving up any more runs. That one looked like I was going to go foul. It was really nicely executed bunt otherwise. Defense was not ready for it. Try to play him in, which will probably mean he slides it somewhere, but it is what it is. Instead, he just took the 3rd strike, pretty much right down the middle of the plate. Latina, on our good day, we're going to go back to standard defensive practices. We also have plenty of juice to play with, but Billie Jean, what were you doing? Why did you run all the way over there? Oh god. It's Emily Lubel up. Bagwell's up after her, right? Yeah, alright. We're going to have to pitch to Lubel. Lubel, I don't know if that's her name. There's a fair chance that she ends up using a power-up, which would be awful. Kind of wishing Tina would try a steal, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get that to happen. Emily does not use a power-up, but does put a good swing on the ball, and I outran it with Cindy. Throw the ball on Cindy. Oh gosh. Really don't want to give up any runs. Runners on 1st and 3rd now. My defensive struggles also pretty legendary. And we do get got by a power-up. No, go. Wow, Whitney has they do give him credit for the run, which is correct in baseball terms anyways, so dang. Alright. Well, ugly game for me once again. Obviously not helped out by the Sean bad day, but very frustrating to continue to fail to score. Had some good opportunities, but Markey makes some okay contact. Got the one like sac fly. I guess that was the only RBI other than Lena's home run and other solid hit. So Lena had a nice game. FIL reach base all the time, but it's kind of serving more like a leadoff hitter. Role continues to get on base, but really need him to be, hitting homers or hitting the ball off the wall and moving runners around and stuff. Poor Cindy with 2 strikeouts, and poor Billie Jean and Sean with just nothing at the bottom. Definitely, it's hurt in general to have Billie Jean with her permanent bad day because of playing with Markey, and Sean's bad day, and just all around inconsistencies. Just doing us in. That will be it for me for today, though, and we will sure get the score from my opponents in due time. And thanks for